I recently discovered a race that lasts 24 hours with cars that can exceed 210 miles per hour. The 24 Hours of Le Mans has been running since 1923 in France. It's not about who's the fastest, it's about who can survive. Your car has to last 24 consecutive hours. That's racing through the day, through the night, and back into the next day, without any major mechanical failures. Teams use 3 drivers who rotate every few hours. One mistake, one blown engine, one bad pit stop after 20 hours of perfect racing, you're done. And the winner? It's not about finishing first in the traditional sense. It's whoever covers the greatest distance in those 24 hours. The car that completes the most laps wins. It's the ultimate test of speed and endurance. Here's what makes this different from any racing you've seen. There are 3 different types of cars racing at the same time on the same track. Hypercar. These are the top dogs. Ferrari, Porsche, Toyota, Cadillac, BMW, Peugeot, Alpine. These are purpose-built prototypes with hybrid systems fighting for the overall Le Mans victory. Fastest cars on track, producing up to 500 kilowatts of power. LMP2. These are also prototype race cars, but they're spec cars. Everyone uses the same Orica chassis, about 10 seconds slower per lap than the hypercars. These are often where future stars develop their skills. LMGT3. These are based on production sports cars, modified Corvettes, Porsches, Ferraris, McLarens, Lexus. The slowest of the 3 classes, but the closest to cars you could actually see on the street. So you're watching a Ferrari hypercar flying past a Porsche GT3, while Cadillac hypercars are weaving through LMP2 traffic, all on the same track, all in the same race. Now here's what confused me at first. If the hypercars are passing everybody like they're standing still, how is this fair? How do the slower cars compete? Here's the answer. And if you watch NASCAR, this is going to make perfect sense. Each class has its own winner. Think about NASCAR's playoff system. You've got playoff drivers racing for the championship, and you've got non-playoff drivers racing for the owner's championship, stage points, and race wins. They're all on track together, but competing for different goals. Same thing here. The hypercars are racing each other for the overall Le Mans victory. Whoever covers the most distance in 24 hours wins the big trophy. The LMP2 cars? They're racing each other for the LMP2 class championship. They know they can't beat the hypercars overall, but they want to be the best LMP2 team. The GT3 cars? Same thing. They're competing for the LMGT3 class championship. So at the end of 24 hours, you get 3 separate winners. One overall winner, always a hypercar that covered the most distance. One LMP2 class winner, the LMP2 car that covered the most distance among all LMP2s. One LMGT3 class winner, the GT3 car that covered the most distance among all GT3s. A GT3 car might finish 20th overall, but if they beat all the other GT3 cars, they're the LMGT3 champions. That's their victory. Why do it this way? First, it creates incredible action. Instead of 20 cars, you've got 60+ cars on track. Second, it lets more manufacturers and teams participate. Not everyone can afford a multi-million-dollar hypercar program. Third, it's a development ladder. Drivers work their way up from GT3 to LMP2 to eventually hypercar. And fourth, it creates insane strategy. The hypercars have to navigate through slower traffic without losing time to their class rivals. That's where races get won and lost. Now let me tell you about some of the unique challenges that come with racing for 24 straight hours. Things you'd never see in a shorter race. Windshield and light cleaning. You know what I noticed watching this? During pit stops, crews are literally wiping down the windshield and headlights. After hours of racing, these cars get covered in rubber debris, oil spray, bugs, dirt, so much that drivers literally can't see, especially at night. In a 2-hour race, you don't need to clean your windshield. Over 24 hours, visibility becomes a survival issue. Night racing. These cars race through complete darkness. Imagine doing 200 miles per hour in the pitch black, navigating through traffic with only your headlights. Drivers have to adjust to changing light conditions and reduced visibility while maintaining race pace. Air conditioning. And here's something that would be unthinkable in most racing. Some of these cars have air conditioning. In a normal race, that's just extra weight. But over 24 hours in June, when it can hit 90 degrees, keeping your drivers cool and comfortable isn't a luxury, it's a performance advantage. An overheated, exhausted driver makes mistakes. Engine restarts. Le Mans has a unique rule. Cars must be turned off during refueling for safety. That means every single pit stop, the car has to restart. Over 24 hours, that's testing your car's reliability 20, 30, 40 times. One failed restart and your race is over. The track itself. The Circuit de la Sarthe is 8.5 miles long and uses actual public roads. For most of the year, regular people drive to work on parts of this track. They only close it down for the race. That famous Mulsanne Straight? That's a public road. Le Mans is held every June at the Circuit de la Sarthe in France. Over 250,000 fans show up to watch, and it draws millions of viewers worldwide. This race is part of motorsport's Triple Crown: the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indianapolis 500, and Le Mans. Only one driver in history has won all three: Graham Hill. 22 Formula One world champions have raced at Le Mans, including Fernando Alonso, who actually won it twice. Winning here puts you in legendary company. And the manufacturers that compete here? They're proving their technology under the most extreme conditions. The innovations developed for Le Mans, from hybrid systems to aerodynamics to fuel efficiency, eventually make their way into the cars we drive every day. 3 different classes racing simultaneously, 24 hours of non-stop action, racing through the day and night, and a test of pure endurance, strategy, and survival. The 24 hours of Le Mans is unlike anything else in racing. So Buttercups, if you made it this far and learned something new about this legendary race, drop the word Le Mans in the comments. And if you want to see more motorsport content beyond NASCAR, let me know, because there's a whole world of racing out there. Until next time, this is your Diva, and I'll catch you in the next one.